eyes hurt this morning. I spent hours crying yesterday. Jeremy's still sleeping, so I'm trying to be quiet. Not only is it my personal ailments that have me distraught, it's that I grieve for the world. Not just the pandemic that's going on, but that there are people in power in the United States that want to do harm to this earth. And I just don't understand. It's surprising to start finding out more and more who is a Republican, because now it seems more divided than ever. It never used to be about whether you were one party or the other. But now it seems that if you are happily claiming support for Donald Trump, I feel like it means that you stand in righteousness and greed and hate. Really bad things happen when you ignore real science. We can look into the universe and see that all galaxies and celestial beings are moving away from one central point. That is a true observation that there is something called the Big Bang that happened, and that the universe is expanding. And just like when you start to boil a pot of water, there are smaller bubbles that come before large rolling bubbles. And this earth, our home, is giving us signals and signs that things are ramping up, building up, that ice caps and glaciers are melting. And if it continues along this projection, certain things are going to happen. And those who deny that it's like telling me you don't believe in math and you don't believe that 1 and 1 makes 2. Now, whether or not humans influence this, is that the question? When you look at the health of a river, whether it's safe to drink, whether there's pollutants in it, whether there's animal life drinking from it and swimming in it, that tells you something about its health. And when more and more rivers, all rivers on this earth, are no longer drinkable and no longer sustain life, the water is tainted. That's not okay. And that is human doing. And the health of the planet, the health of the animals and the insects and the whole system and the health of the humans all depend on that river. All depend on that forest and that land and that ocean. And when you say it's okay to blanket statement open the floodgates to pollution, to encourage pollution, how can you stand behind that? How can you? How can you not want to leave someplace better than you found it? This is not okay and it doesn't feel good. And I am in such grief and worry and fear. And this pandemic, as a result of that unhealthiness that humans have created, it is our actions and our way we deal with animals. There's been so many of the flu and epidemics and things that came from factory farms and mistreatment of animals and our planet. And what really hurts is just having humans stand behind the current administration and say, I believe that person is telling the truth. I believe that person stands in my best interest. I've never thought that of that person. That they cared one iota about the earth, that they spent any time in actual nature. And a fucking green golf course devoid of all bugs and wildlife and actual trees and all chemicaled up. It's not the nature I'm talking about. How can we be so blind to our humanity? How can we propel hate like this? How can we hurt each other and ourselves so